Good evening. Let's just assume for a moment that the sky above is in fact a thin membrane, and that the stars are in fact little pinpricks in that membrane that allow light to peek through. So, given that, so you're standing, you're in the middle of it, standing there on Earth, you're in the kitchen, frying onions in olive oil, rewriting a poem in your head, listening to the leaves and the wind, and the World Series on the radio, with an eye to the future, 1 foot in the grave, a song in your heart, and a bun in the oven. So take that kind of spherical thing and make that into an apple. It's an apple. Freeze it, slice it in half, shave off a micro-thin layer. Scientists do this all the time. A micro-thin layer, take it and put it on a slide, and you're looking at it through a microscope. Say it's a binocular microscope. And you're looking at this thing, and you're wearing a little cowboy hat, and these brown and white chaps you had when you were 5 years old. And you're wearing a pair of those big black boots, and that scare you. And they each weigh about 15 pounds. And now your legs are tree trunks all the way up, and your head is a globe. It's the sun, and it's burning really hot. It's burning, and it won't stop. So take that and just keep that in mind. Now, before we go any further, I'll tell you a little bit about me. I was born once in the mid-50s, right here in Milwaukee, and, well, that's about it. It doesn't matter really who I've been or what I was. What matters is who or what I am. And I am the sort of universe in a grain of sand type person. I am the stop along the way to smell the roses kind of guy. I am the one who took the road less traveled by, or thinks he did. At least would like to have done. And I think I might have an explanation for all this. At some point or other, the universe happened with a big bang or whatever. The planets and stars moved around a lot. Time passed. Then came humans. I don't know how or why. Some people say we descended from apes. Some people don't like that idea too much. The way I see it is like this. About 3 million years ago, we fell out of the trees and started walking upright on our 2 back feet, leaving our front feet with nothing much to do. And so in that way, hands were invented. And it took a while, but eventually these hands figured out how to peel bananas, throw things, mold clay, carve wood, catch fish, make a fist, slap, shake, clap, write, talk, pitch a curved ball, bake bread, fix hair, build things, change light bulbs, play air guitar, and so on. Now, 3 million years is kind of hard to imagine. $3 million is easier to imagine because we hear about that all the time. Some CEO earns that much in a month while in prison. Or it'll cost $3 million to buy a new congressman or something. We can imagine spending $3 million, but can you imagine spending 3 million years? Well, of course not. It's a long, long time. So I don't know, maybe that's when we fell out of trees. Maybe we were never in trees. Maybe we just woke up one morning and found ourselves here with each other. Maybe we were hatched from pods dropped by accident by some spaceship that got lost looking for Jupiter. Maybe there was somebody called God or Yahweh or Jehovah or Allah or Brahman or Odin or Zeus or Harold or Lillian or Cher or Zippy who one day grabbed a hunk of dirt or a branch from a tree or a handful of dust and squeezed it, shook it, kissed it, blew on it, and magically turned it into a rib or a pair of eyes or a baby or a woman or a man or a dog named Louie. And the next thing you know, there's babies and puppies all over the place, growing up, riding horses, mowing the lawn, sailing on big boats, taking little naps, writing letters, playing Nintendo, eating at McDonald's, going to church. And the next thing you know, there are more people, and then more. And eventually, there are so many that we get crowded and polluted and completely sick of each other. And when that point happens, it seems to me there's going to be nowhere else to go. But that's probably what they used to think long ago, in 1492, when Christopher Columbus discovered America, or 500 years before that, when Leif Erikson discovered America. Or when the Aztec, the Maya, the Hopi, the Inuit, Tlingit, Quakin, Ojibwa, Cherokee, Potawatomi, and the rest of the original Americans discovered America. Or when their ancestors crossed the Bering Strait, or floated over the southern Pacific Ocean, or swam, or flew, or dropped from trees. Before this big land was open for business, somebody somewhere else felt crowded, or restless, or just want to get up and leave the family, move out to the country, get away from it all, start a new life, a new beginning. And so they did. So that's what might have happened that led to us being here. Right now, right here, you and me. Okay? Okay, no. The thing to remember is that it's all connected. There was a chain of events, chain of food chain, that is, that makes up this world, like the single cell consumed by the plant, photosynthesis, sun and soil, moisture, pollen carried to another plant, flowering, nectar, honey, spider eats the bee, bird eats spider, lays egg, animal eats egg, bigger animal eats smaller animal, human shoots bigger animal, stuffs it and hangs it on the wall. Human gets run over by a bus. The bus eats gas refined from oil taken from deep in the ground underneath Libya or Oklahoma. Libyans or Oklahomans sell oil for money and favors to other countries like Japan and the United States of America, who also trade money and favors for products from other smaller countries and states who oppose other small or large countries or states who quietly trade with anyone who has money while loudly denouncing their customers for various offenses in order to keep their public image consistent with their doctrines, so that people will believe in them and die for their leader if necessary when the leaders talk themselves into fights with one another to defend their honor, their pride, their territory, their wardrobe, their image and reputation for being whatever it is they claim to be. So that's all fine. If we don't like it, let's change it. Or at least, let's hope somebody changes it. It all depends, I suppose, upon whether you consider the world to be a place of unending God-given bounty, or if you regard it as a closed system, which maintains a balance of life forms that feed off one another. You know what I mean? Okay, well, my time's about up. Or maybe it's been up for a few years now and I just haven't noticed. Who's got time to notice anything these days? Boy, it all just zips past, doesn't it? You're born, you cry about it, you grow up, people start dying, you realize you hadn't planned for the second half of your life, you're fucked, you give up. What? What was it? Oh yeah, how fast everything is. And everybody. People are in such a hurry nowadays. Have you noticed? On the freeway, they all drive like they're from Illinois. It makes me feel so old, driving along in the middle lane, a little bit above the limit, checking the mirror. Otherwise, looking ahead. Recently, a lunar eclipse occurred, and I stood outside in the cold night air, looking up, a man facing southeast. And I would point and tell passing strangers to look at it. Some did.
Huh.